Hey, how's it going? Back here again with Jacob with Cultivate Colorado and cultivatecolorado.com. We're back here again at Tubetown, USA, where we keep all of our irrigation stuff. Today we're going to be going over one of our more popular products and product lines, which is Netafim. Netafim is a drip irrigation company, but they do much more than that. They also do automation, they do fertigation, but they started out doing drip irrigation as well as line irrigation down row crops. They actually invented drip irrigation back in the 60s when they were forced to, out of necessity, having very little water where they were at. Their products have been popular for years and years and years all over all sorts of ag. And I think it said last year they probably do about 30% of all of the drip irrigation and drip products in the entire world. So they're a huge company, they really know what they're doing, and they have different products for every different application. So let's kind of jump into some of their specific hot button items. Netafim carries stuff that can be done in every single application you could possibly imagine, from a small little pot in a quart size container all the way up to rows and rows and rows of row crop. If you can dream it, they definitely have what you need.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
We carry most of their items here in store, but today we're going to be going over primarily the drip irrigation components that you would need to set up a potted plant, whether it be from, like I said, size of a quart to a 100-gallon pot. All the stuff we're going to go over is going to help make sure you succeed in your drip irrigation system. So let's jump right into it. First of all, with Netafim is they make these, it's what it's called, a Netafim Arcal disc filter. It's a disc filter. I have a smaller one right here in front of me. This is a 3/4 inch one. This one's a 1 inch. They make them up to every size you could imagine. They have double-sided. They have set ones that will actually prime and wash for you, so you don't have to do the maintenance. They sell replacement kits for all the inside pieces, or just so you can have an extra to make cleaning go easy and fast. But this right here is what you're gonna run before any of your drip irrigation, which is gonna collect all the sediment in these little discs right here. The water will go through here. It's gonna collect any sort of sediment that could cause you a blockage down the line. This is gonna be your saver. This is a must for any and every irrigation system. We have people come in all the time saying they can't figure out why it's not working, this and that. Every question we ask first is, do you have an Arcal filter? 99% of the time, the answer is no. And once they put this in, all their problems go away. But in saying that, if you don't have this in originally and you're trying to save a drip system, you might need to start from scratch, because what will happen is inside all these little emitters, you'll get sediment built up that didn't get caught because you didn't have an Arcal filter. And then this whole thing is pretty much trash, or at least from here is trash. So I can't stress enough how important these are. You want to make sure you install it at the beginning so you don't have to go back and rip out a system later. Next piece that I'm going to go over here is the Netafim globe valves. So these are not a generic solenoid valve, but it works just the same as the ones you would get at Home Depot, but made out of much higher durability plastic, so it can build up to a higher PSI, no leaking. They have an automatic switch on both sides, on the top and on the side. They're 24 volt or 12 volt, depending on your application. I have 3/4 inch in this hand and a 1 inch in this hand, but they make up to 1.5 inches too. Best globe valves on the market. This will help you automate any of your feedings. Hook this into a Galcon controller, a Trollmaster controller, one of Netafim's controllers. You'll be able to open these actuated valves by a low frequency or just by a 12 volt power. Have your pump kick on, push water through, turn off. You can water multiple times a day. Definitely essential if you're trying to do some crop steering or multiple waterings every day. Next, I'm gonna go over some of these small pieces that Netafim makes for their supply lines. These are Tech Lock fittings. These are for the 1/2 inch or the 17mm tubing. They basically do not completely unscrew here. You go like that, you pop the tube on. This piece will be on there, ratchet right in. That way you don't have to deal with any of those butterfly clamps or any sort of clamp like that may get loose. You gotta tighten, save you a ton of time, make it very smooth, very clean.
Smooth, very smooth stuff.
They have them in, like I said, the 1/2 inch as well as the 3/4. They don't make every single piece, but it can get you pretty much from point A to point B. The next piece that we're gonna go over here would be one of their vacuum release valves. This is gonna make sure that none of the air is left in your system every time, so that you don't end up with drippers that aren't dripping or an air bubble that's running around it. Basically, this will purge all the air out of your system before it starts watering. Again, this is a very simple one. They make a bunch of different options. So if you have a question and you need something specific to your case, give us a shout and we can definitely help you find whatever's gonna work best for you. Another thing they have are these little brown valves. And what these do is actually purge water out of your lines. So if you have really long lines, you just want to make sure there's clean water every single time. This one's going to release a half gallon of water and then close every time it feels that pressure. So you put this, especially long runs of line outside where it might be sitting in the heat, it's going to push all the water out of the line before it ever starts watering your plants. So these things are also super cool. Next, we're going to go over one of my favorite pieces, and these are the pre-assembled whips. These things are a lifesaver, game changer, time saver.
It's a real lifesaver.
They make them in all different sizes from, a quarter gallon per hour, which is gonna come with this side of tubing and one of the angle barb stakes, all the way up to the 6.6 gallon per hour, which are right here. This would be a 6.6 gallon per hour, 48-inch assembly. The button right here is what's going to be your pressure regulated button at 20 PSI. That's going to actually make sure every single one of these is opening at the same PSI, getting the same amount of water. This one has 48 inches, so from your trunk line to your plant. They also make them in 36 inches, and if you have time or want a custom one, they will make them in any length you could possibly imagine. The 6.6s and 3.2s, they come with a button, so you can put a spray stake on the end. You can also opt out of the angle and go for the barbed elbow. But usually the barbed elbow and all of the stakes are sold a la carte on the 3.2 and 6.6s, but on the smaller versions, the angle barb will come right on there. Now I got this in my hand. This is a two-way assembly. So this right here, you take one of the buttons, turns into two watering lines basically, but each one of them is gonna be, say if you have a 1 gallon per hour, you're gonna get a half gallon out of each. So these are awesome if say you're trying to do a lot of plants and veg in a small area. They also have 4 ways, which are right here. So you can take a 1 gallon and turn it into a quarter gallon. You can do a 2 gallon and turn it into a half gallon.
Lots of different possibilities.
I like these a lot. I also think if you're doing bigger plants and you want to have some fail safes, you need to do at least 2 of these per, which is why a lot of people stick to the singles because they just want to do 2 stakes. Otherwise, they're going to have 4 stakes in their bucket. But for big plants, these things work terrifically. So now that we went over the pre-assembled whips, which I think are a terrific, great time saver, but sometimes people have an application that they need to make every single whip by themselves, or they have a crew that's big enough to cut the lines, and that's awesome too. And that's where these pieces come in. These are all a la carte. So everything we went over here, you can buy the drip assembly, whatever you want, quarter gallon, half gallon, 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3.2, 6.6, 10.8, you name it. And then you match it up with your line, however long you want to go, 1 foot, 2 foot, 10 feet.
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Whatever you want, and then the stake of your choosing. This makes it so you can kind of design anything to fit your application. Take a little bit more time because you got to cut the tubing, but you can really get what you want. Also a little bit more affordable to do it this route if you want to make your own assemblies than to buy the pre-assembled kits. Behind me, you can see all of the different tubing we sell, from 1 inch over here, 1/2 inch in the back, 3/4 down there. Everything you could imagine to get all the drip system built out of one place. We can help you design it from the pump through the ArcGal system to the gallon per hour you need for the pot. Indoor, outdoor, greenhouse, if you name it, we've seen it.
I've seen some shit, man. I kid you not, I have seen some shit.
We're always here to help, and we always enjoy teaching people how to make their garden work more efficiently. The more efficiently your garden works, the more success you're gonna have with it, and the more success we're gonna have with you as a customer. All right, everyone, that was our brief seminar here on the most popular Netafim pieces that we sell here at Cultivate Colorado. This might be the most popular, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. We carry so many more pieces from Netafim as well as other irrigation companies that work interchangeably with theirs. So please feel free to reach out to us and like and subscribe below if you have any questions. Give the store a call. We're always here to help, and let's get you growing.